Hi, I'm Summer.
And I'm Carly.
We're your Honors Peer Advisors. Today, as promised, we have a very special guest with us.
As some of you know, Dr. Wang, Dean of the Burnett Honors College, is stepping down at the end of the semester.
We have him here today to answer some questions and talk about his time at the Honors College.
Thank you for talking with us today, Dr. Wang.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so we can start. What is your favorite memory from serving as Dean of the Burnett Honors College?
I think I have several memories, and they involve interacting with students. So I teach an honors class, Windows to the World. I've taken groups of students on study abroad locations to South Africa, Nicaragua, and this summer an inaugural trip to Mexico. All of them are service learning. And that's really an opportunity for me to get to know our students, and I hope that they get to know me. That's probably one of the most gratifying aspects of my time here in the Honors College.
Excellent.
Very
Very
cool.
cool. Okay, so.
They were paid to say that.
Okay, let's say a penguin walks through that door right now wearing a sombrero. What does he say and why is he here?
Who thinks of these things? Well, because there's a sombrero atop of the penguin's head,
Yes.
I would think that this is a penguin who has a particular interest in a study abroad program in Mexico. And so I would invite this penguin to join us on our service learning trip to Chiapas, Mexico this summer.
I think you would like that.
Have a great time.
Okay. How has the Honors College changed since you started, and how do you think it has changed you?
Well, there has been a lot of change both in the Honors College as well as myself. In terms of changes in the Honors College, I would say that every year since I've been affiliated, we've seen stronger students. Each fall we seem to have a stronger, better class of honors freshmen participate in our programming. And I think within the last decade or so, there's been a tremendous increase in the number, the variety, the quality of our programming. When I first came on board as an associate dean and then dean of the Honors College, we didn't have, for instance, any honors international service learning programs. Now we offer 3 each summer. And we're up to about 220 honors sections each year. And keep in mind, these sections span our freshman through our senior year classes, and never more than 20 students in any given honors section. So there have been lots of good, vibrant changes in the Honors College, and for that, I'm very proud, and a large part of that would be the honors staff who have worked really hard at maintaining the success, the vibrancy, the quality of our programs, as well as the students who we're able to attract to the Honors College. In terms of changes in myself, I think probably the greatest change has been more of an appreciation on my part in terms of the diversity of student interests. And also the diversity of faculty interests that I interact with. Prior to my life as a dean in the Honors College, I was a professor of psychology. So of course I specialized in that discipline, and I learned a lot about psychology, but that never really gave me an opportunity to branch out, maybe look at areas where psychology might intersect with other disciplines. And as you know, interdisciplinarity is a key mark, is a hallmark of the Honors College, and that's something that I really learned to appreciate in my time as dean.
Interesting.
Very great answer.
Okay. Now, which animal do you think would make the best type of president if the animal kingdom ever rises up and takes over?
A penguin with a sombrero.
Very good answer.
Okay. What is your favorite UCF tradition?
I think my favorite UCF tradition is that everyone, and I think the Honors College exemplifies this, everyone tends to take a entrepreneurial spirit. Everyone, I'm referring to students, faculty, administrators, they have a can-do attitude. You know, I've never been in a meeting, I've never met with anyone on this campus where you present an interesting problem or an idea. I've never been in a situation where someone said, no, you know, we're not even going to consider that, or we're just not going to do that. There's always been a really interesting discussion and problem solving that takes place in meetings that I've been in on this campus.
Excellent, great to hear. Okay, so we finish this interview and you step outside and find a lottery ticket that ends up winning $10 million. what would you do?
I've actually thought about this. I mean, who doesn't dream
I think
about
we all have.
winning
Yeah.
the jackpot? So if I had that amount of money, I would probably split it up in thirds. 1/3 I would create some sort of scholarship opportunity or program for students here at UCF. I think another third would probably be used to support other local community efforts. It could be, for instance, developing more college prep programs for underserved students in our high schools. And the other third I'm keeping.
That's very economical of
Yes.
you.
Okay.
Okay. What do you like to do in your free time?
On a daily basis, I cook. This is, I think, going to be surprising for a lot of people, but not my wife because she's the benefactor. But I will cook from scratch almost every day. I'm not saying every meal is going to be fancy, but I don't microwave, I don't cook out of cans, I don't break open pre-cooked kinds of food, so it's going to be cooking from scratch. And I would also say on a long-term basis, international travel is wonderful. I've always learned more about the wonderful place we live, our world, but it's also an opportunity to learn more about myself.
Very interesting.
And does the international travel factor into your cooking?
It does. I love cooking from the Mediterranean area, of course, Asian foods. I've even dabbled in now Mexican and Central American cuisine because I visited those places and I was fascinated.
Sounds really good.
Yeah. What is a book that you would recommend to everyone to read and why?
This is a tough one. I would say I'm not going to recommend one book because people are so different, and from a psychological perspective, I also think in terms of development. So for instance, a really powerful book for a 5-year-old wouldn't be the same kind of book that you would expect from a 15-year-old or a 50-year-old person. I think across one's development, the kinds of books that have an impact will probably change because of the person's maturity. So I guess in answer to your question, I would say to, let's say, someone is watching this video, maybe it's a college student, in terms of what book I would recommend, it would be the book that you have already read that has had the most impact. Read it again.
Very interesting.
And finally, what advice would you give students to ensure their success in college?
I think typical answers might be prioritizing, learning to be a better time manager, organize more. But I think the bigger picture and the bigger goal should be simply to find yourself. I have seen many students start out as freshmen, fresh out of high school, and by the time they graduate in 4 years, there's just been a wonderful maturation where these students come into their own. And it's not just intellectually, but it's really finding their center. Discovering their passions and learning things about themselves that perhaps they wouldn't have been able to do without a college education. So really, it would be to find yourself.
That's very good advice.
Very good advice.
Well, thank you again for talking with us today. Everyone here at the Honors College will definitely miss you, and we wish you the best in the future.
I appreciate it, and I enjoyed the interview. Thanks for the good questions.
Well, that's all we have for you this semester. We hope your finals go well and enjoy your break.
Be sure to look out for more important things and stuff in the fall.
Bye.